And let's load this game up. Alright, in game, and we'll unpause. Alright then, guys. Right, okay, let's try that again. Okay, hello, and welcome back to War is Coming, the group stage here between OCC and ZZ. It's been a pretty good series so far, with, unfortunately for OCC, a 3-0 victory up to this point for ZZ. They've been playing really well, and they've actually been some really nice games, and I know OCC haven't exactly pulled through and got a win, but they've been playing some really interesting strategies. They've been basically mixing it up a bit, and it seems to have worked out reasonably well so far. It's just that their later sort of post-Imperial stage of the game, they kind of fall behind there, and they just don't seem to have what it takes at that point. But early on, they're doing a good job, and in this game, it's going to be a 3v3. Seems like both teams could not get a fourth player, or one of the teams couldn't, and it's absolutely fine for players to play in a 3v3 mode if they are unable to get a fourth player. So that's a good thing. But the map is going to be the War is Coming Nomad map. It's identical to the Nomad map, but this one's an interesting one because there's actually no center lake, which is usually a feature that we see in every single Nomad game since it's all been 4v4s. So we should see a kind of messy game, I think, depending on how the TC locations or the starting locations look. But we'll check that out in just a second as those town centers start to pop up, and we'll see how this game goes. So for ZZ then, we'll introduce these guys first. Off to the west of the map, the northwest, in the purple, we've got Aphrodite. He's playing as the Persians. And down to the south of him, we've got Gary in the red, playing as the Vikings. And last but not least, over to the right of the map here, the sort of southeast, in the green, we've got Nikov playing as the Chinese. So that's the ZZ team, the Chinese, the Vikings, and the Persians. And for OCC, over to the left of the map in the blue, they've got the Viking player right on that shoreline there. They've also got over to the, oh man, he's kind of on his own, isn't he? Up to the north of the map, they've got Hey Come On in the yellow, playing as the Persians. And on that far right of the map, on the sort of southeast, or just, I suppose, over to the east, in the orange, they've got Nozo Onodi playing as the Chinese. So again, it's Chinese, Persians, and Vikings. But yeah, this game looks like it could be pretty interesting, actually, because, like, looking at this, Flushing is in a really awkward position. He's kind of trapped, because if he wants to get out of his base, he's going to have to go through Gary or Juan first. Both of these guys are basically right on the, to the right of Flushing, and Flushing being against the edge of the map, kind of going to get walled in here if he's not careful. Now, he could end up walling himself in anyway, because he's playing as the Vikings, and the Viking player typically is going to want to do a bit of a flush or a grush on the water. And now, the Viking player for ZZ is in the center here in the land, so probably going to see a bit of action on the water between these two guys who have docked very close together. And for Flushing, he may just wall himself up against the world, and he might just try and sling later on. He might try and bust out, who knows. But he is going to have a tough time if Gary and Aphrodite focus on him. And at the very least, if he does do a galley rush on the water, Aphrodite, Juan here, is probably going to be looking to fast castle, and he's going to come straight down here with knights, as Flushing will be still in the feudal age, making galleys. So he's in a tough position. At the north of the map, Hey Come On, not looking too bad though. I mean, he's actually got a small amount of food up here, which is not good. But if he finds those boar, he'll be okay. But he's playing up to the north. He's got a lot of distance between him and any of the other players. And over to the right of the map, Nozo Onodi, pretty close to the other Chinese player, Nikov. But again, there's a little bit of a distance between them. He's got a little bit more space. And if he finds the boar, once again, if he finds the boar, he should be okay. Finding resources and scouting on this map is just so vital, and we'll see if these guys can actually spot their boars and stuff yet. Nozo Onodi, I'll have a quick look at his point of view. He sees all. In fact, he's got really good vision so far. In fact, his vision is so good that he's got the score lead in the entire game. His sheep have been doing a fantastic job of charting this map, drawing up their maps, and sending that information home by awesome sheep brainwaves that transmit across the map and into Nozo Onodi's brain so that he can understand and see the world through the eyes of a sheep. That explains how he's managed to get all this vision from his sheep alone. But yeah, people in the chat telling me that Orange's name is No Zuo No Die. Nozo Onodi sounds better. He's gonna be Nozo Onodi whether you like it or not. I have a habit of butchering people's names, and to me, I don't think it matters too much unless that person comes to me and says, "Look, I don't appreciate you butchering my name. My name is said like this." Then I will say their name wrong because Nozo Onodi to me sounds good. So if he's not called Nozo Onodi, then that's just a shame, I guess. He's gonna have to deal with it. Anyway. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here on this left side. It could be interesting to see if there's any early aggression. Tower rushing always an option, but for Juan there doesn't seem to be a close stone, so he probably wouldn't want to do that, and he probably wouldn't want to do that anyway because he's Persians and they're going to want to fast castle. So I mean, pretty much both Persian and Chinese players will want to fast castle this, but OCC being OCC, that might not be the case because OCC, we've seen them already many times breaking the mold, like I like to say, and just kind of doing things very unorthodoxly, causing a lot of havoc and catching their opponents right off guard. And I like that. I like their playstyle a lot. For some reason, my game keeps hanging again every few seconds. My mouse will freeze, so I apologize for that, and I don't really know why it's doing it. I can only assume it's since I added my second monitor that this has happened, so I'm not sure why it does, but I'll try and get it sorted out because it's a little bit annoying when every few seconds the mouse cursor freezes up and the game sort of jitters a bit. But it's not too bad that it's making me pull my hair out and want to GG right here. But hey, so far then, everyone's just booming up, or not booming up, building up, sorry, I should say. Fishing ships coming out and all of that jazz. But water control really going to be quite important here, and Flushing is going to have an important job on the water to make sure that he gets those galleys out nice and early. And you know what, I'm going to speed things up a little bit here. Just going to put it on 75% speed. And wow, when I put it on 75% speed, it seems to jitter up even more. Weird. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to speed things up slightly here. So he's going up to feudal first. No one's up just yet, but the closest seems to be Flushing. And that's probably a good thing for OCC, because if he gets feudal first, then he's going to have a big advantage starting to get those galleys out and starting to pick off some of those opposing teams' fishing ships. So there we go. He's up, and that is a pretty good time for him, actually. Nobody else seems anywhere near at the moment, with everyone else averaging about 250 food, as Flushing is well on his way up to getting those galleys out. Switching all of his villagers now to take the wood, and it looks like he's going to go and take the gold right on the front. And actually, I didn't notice that, but his gold locations are kind of awkward. If you have a quick look here, he's got to go all the way out here to get gold. He could come and take the gold on the right and wall across the front. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of an awkward situation to be in, and I don't know how he's going to deal with Aphrodite's knights once they start coming out onto the map. So that could be something that he really gets hung up on. But if you have a look at Aphrodite right now, that's a lot of wood income for him, and I'm starting to wonder what's going on. He's on the way up to feudal. He's taking a ton of wood, not really much food, and in fact, it doesn't look like he's taking any gold either. Oh no, he's finally coming back here to take the gold. Surprised he didn't go for the gold out on the front. It's certainly closer, and although this is more of a back gold in situation, well, in terms of where Flushing is, if he scouted this one, he'd see that Flushing was taking it, and he might do something about that pretty quickly. But yeah, a fast castle here for Aphrodite should be on the cards, but obviously that's a lot of fishing ships right there, and that would explain why he had so many villagers taking wood. He's got up to 3 docks, and I almost think with that many fishing ships, is it worth doing a fast castle and risking losing all of your ships? Or would it be perhaps a little bit better to go up to feudal and make some galleys from the 3 docks? Because those galleys are coming out pretty quickly from Flushing here, and Juan is going to be taking some big losses if he's not careful. And indeed, I don't think he will be careful enough, because what can he do when he's in the Dark Age? You know, there's no Dark Age military on the water. It just does not exist. So, feudal age up for Gary at the moment as well, but Gary in comparison is only 62% of the way there. Flushing's already got his galleys out at 60%, and obviously he will get those galleys out on the water first. He actually doesn't have that much wood income at the moment. He didn't have too many villagers in the Dark Age. He actually made... I don't know how many ships he did. Yeah, he did a lot. He did a few more fishing ships than sort of standard. So in this situation, Flushing not going to have quite as many villagers as he would like on the wood, and that's why he's sending all of his new villagers to wood here. He's got more than enough fishing ships on the water to keep villager production going. In fact, he'll probably make a little bit of a profit on the water as well. But there you go, fishing ships being taken down from Aphrodite here, and obviously, if his plan is to fast castle, which certainly seems to be the case, then he will be struggling to make 2 stable knights at this rate. Galleys are coming out for him though, and he is going to do a round of galleys here. This is going to slow his castle time down, because obviously that's costing him quite a bit of wood, and spending that wood means that he simply cannot get up his 2 feudal age buildings fast enough. He's also spending some gold, which means he's not going to be able to get the gold fast enough, but he is going to try and protect his fishing ships, and I think that's a good call for him, because Gary's not going to do it. Gary's not doing that yet. The first couple of galleys coming out, but he's already lost a few ships already, and he's already outnumbered as well. I'm just surprised we've not seen the 3rd dock from Flushing yet, but I think that's going to be coming up any second now anyway. And to be honest with you, playing as the Vikings, he may as well go up to 4 docks in this situation. Aphrodite on the 3, but I mean, if he makes another round of galleys, his castle time is going to be even slower now. So he's rushing that blacksmith. He's going to click up right now, and I imagine he'll send more villagers over to gold, and he's going to try and make some more units on the water, I imagine. I'm just predicting that. I think he'll try and do that to try and basically just stop the galleys from Flushing doing too much more damage. Of course, Gary's coming on into the picture now with a few galleys of his own, and Flushing is going to be slightly outnumbered if it's 2v1. But if he gets that 4th dock up, he should be fine. For Gary, he's sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4 docks at the moment as well. And he's actually looking pretty good right here with 4 docks already, although he is playing from behind. So that is kind of the big deal there. Flushing just getting that 3rd dock up now, I think. Oh no, he's still only on the 2. What's he doing? Why has he not got his 3rd dock? He's got so much wood here. He could also afford a blacksmith and actually get fletching. I think he actually did just do fletching. So yeah, I don't know why he's not got the 3rd dock yet. That seems really weird. He's finally just putting it up. About time too. And still very risky on the front here. Very risky against Aphrodite on the front. But Aphrodite not making those plays, and it seems like once he gets up to castle, judging by the way he's built this stable on the right side, he's probably going to go and raid Hey Come On. So castle age coming in for Nozu and Nodi as well on this right side. He's going up, he's got his stable out as well, and he's fully walled, which is always a nice thing. Castle age on the way up for Hey Come On, and he's up to the north, so obviously we know what's going on there. 2 stables for him versus the 1 from Juan at the moment. Just the Juan. And Juan up to castle as well. The other guys are all still feudal, and in fact Nikov just clicking up right now as well, but he is considerably slower than the other guys. So again, OCC with a slight advantage in the early game here, and Flushing, I'm surprised he's just not done more on the water yet. I really feel like he should be doing more damage. He does have fletching, but Gary seems to have more galleys since he's up against, 3 docks versus 4. Of course, Aphrodite with a couple of galleys out as well. But Aphrodite really shouldn't be building galleys here. That's Gary's job. So Aphrodite now up to castle. Those knights going to be coming out in the 2nd stable on the way out as well. And where are those knights heading? They're actually heading down south. Aphrodite, looking at his fog of war, going to go check out that gold mining camp. And he's going straight down there. As a result, he's going to bypass this one entirely. And I think maybe he's not thinking that Flushing would have the balls to take the gold here. Obviously, he's going to check this gold first. It would make more sense for Flushing to be on this gold first, but Flushing catching Aphrodite off guard, I believe, with this, and those knights are actually going to go the wrong way. They're going to come around here, and they're going to go head over to that gold and find that there's nothing there, and then he's going to wonder where the hell Flushing is actually getting his gold from. Maybe he will check this one eventually, and when he does, that's going to be pretty nasty for Flushing. But we'll see if that ever happens, because Hey Come On's up to castle now, and Nikov, sorry, Nozo Inodi's up to castle now. Nikov still feudal, and he's struggling to get that castle age upgrade at the moment. He's built really defensively around this gold camp, which is nice. But yeah, those knights are coming down. They're going to head straight towards Nikov here. And Nikov didn't complete his wall. In fact, he's open on the front. And that's going to be a 2v1 against him. And Aphrodite might suddenly forget about checking the gold. And he's going to head his knights over to Nikov to go and help out instead. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, obviously, Nikov 2v1 going to need the help of Aphrodite if he's going to be able to defend that. And that's going to be quite tough. So on the water then, we'll have a look at those military stats real quickly here. Military. There we go. 6 galleys for Gary and 6 galleys for Flushing. They are completely even on the numbers. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Population 13 for Flushing and 16 for Gary. So obviously Gary with a slight advantage there. At the moment, Nikov with just 1 military unit. I guess that's his single knight that he's managed to get out so far. But he will be making units a little bit more faster soon. But yeah, Hey Come On and Nozo Inodi with the knight raiding onto Nikov here. That's actually really huge. They've got +1 attack on these knights as well, so they do they take one less hit to kill a villager. And I've got to say, that is pretty damn good for the OCC team at this point. If they can take Nikov down really early on, then they should be able to push an advantage. Nikov's actually making camels though, and I'm not quite sure what the camels are going to be able to achieve when they're this outnumbered, but it's definitely better to make camels than knights in this situation, simply because he's so defensive, and camels are just literally used for defense purposes. As soon as they start pushing out, it's not going to happen, not going to work with camels, because they just die too quickly to TCs and stuff. But yeah, on this left side, I just can't believe that Flushing here is still taking this goal, and he's just, oh, come on. Aphrodite's it's right there, but he's got no idea. And this is just like, this could be so different. If Aphrodite just hit that gold, then Flushing would be making no more galleys on the water, and it would be a different story altogether. Pardon me, it would be a different story altogether. So, we've got a bit of raiding coming in from Aphrodite at the back of the map. No upgrades on his knights at all, though. And for Nikov now, no upgrades on his camels, and he's losing more villagers as well. Population, he's got 39 eco units on the map, and that's less than everyone else. Flushing's got 48, Aphrodite has 62, and in fact, at the moment, Aphrodite has got the largest population in the game, with 74 pop, 63 of those are eco units, and he's got a lot of eco here. He's also got some fires out to protect his ships, but he's not actively hunting down the galleys of Flushing, who is still slightly behind Gary. But we'll check quickly. Gary's still feudal. Is Flushing up to castle? No. Looks like Gary will win the water at this rate, because Gary's going to have that faster castle time, and that's going to be pretty huge. But Nikov's in a lot of trouble. He's under a lot of pressure. A lot of his farms are now idle. His villagers are just taking wood and gold. And without any food, he's not really going to be able to afford to be able to make any knights or any camels. He is, however, taking a little bit on the water. He has got a few fishing ships taking the big fish, but the fire ships from Hey Come On are coming in, and those fires, I don't even know, I mean, they must have come from this dock here, I'm guessing. But yeah, they are pretty huge, and they are going to start taking out a bunch of his fishing ships and causing more problems for Nikov. Nikov, problem after problem, it would seem, right now. So obviously, we got some monks out for Nozo Inodi. He is a true Wololo warlord, a true Wololo warrior, bringing those monks in. A great counter to what Nikov has right here. Those camels, they run in, they get converted, the camels turn on them, and it's GG very quickly. Now on the water, Gary still has the advantage over Flushing. Flushing is still in the feudal age, and Gary halfway up to castle nearly. So that war galley upgrade will come in, and I predict that Flushing will lose the water very quickly. He's got nowhere to run. He either runs to the corner of the map and gets killed, or he runs into Aphrodite's fire ships, and then probably kills the fire ships, because fire ships are useless. But in theory, he should die to Aphrodite's or Juan's military on the water there. So anyway, on this left side, Nozoanodi and Heikemon still keeping the pressure up onto Nikov, but at the back of the map, Aphrodite trying to raid some more onto Heikemon. Heikemon's not having any of that though. He's up to 3 TCs, he's killed off a bunch of these knights, and the raiding continues to come in, but he shuts it down pretty quickly by the looks of it, and not losing too many villages, it would seem. Having a quick look at the military tab, in fact, Heikemon killed 10 units and lost 5. Aphrodite's killed 3, but he's lost 9. So the trades here are looking a lot better for the OCC team on the land. But of course, Gary outmatching Flushing on the water at the moment, with Gary 28 kills to 15 losses. However, Flushing isn't too bothered about keeping the water, it would seem, because he's actually slinging Heikemon right now. This is so risky, because he's not walled up, he's still feudal, and now he's slinging the yellow player, who is making double stable knights and is up to 3 TCs. But Flushing, I feel like that's a huge risk. He's risking the water, he's risking his own base, because he's not walled it, and even if Heikemon gets a big advantage, if he were to go out, I mean, what's the point of having one player with a huge advantage if you're sacrificing yourself to achieve that? There's not really much point to it. So, I feel like that's a really risky move by Flushing, and we'll see if it pays off. But I think the answer to that is probably going to be no. I don't know, though. We'll see. Sending all of his food to Heikemon. Obviously, in the south of the map, Gary here with those galleys. Bodkin arrows done. And we'll see. There we go. War galley as well. So obviously Flushing is going to have to run away. And that's another big problem that I've just thought of as well. His TC is a little bit close to the water, don't you think? Yeah. I would think. And that's obviously going to be a big problem if... Hold on. If Gary comes in, and of course he will. He's going to clean up these galleys, no problem. And he's going to head round here, and he's going to see that TC, and he's going to think, yep, you know what? I'm going to take that. And of course he will take it, because what is to stop him? Not the measly, pathetic fleet of Flushing, surely. So I'm really unsure about how I feel about this game. OCC on the land, they're looking great at the moment. But on the water, it's going tits up, let's be honest. And that is going to be a big problem. And I don't know. I mean, the other OCC guys could lose water. Nikov's doing a pretty good job down here with his fires, actually, killing off a few fishing ships pretty quickly. And if Nikov were to make some galleys, he could even hit this TC as well. But yeah, Flushing's going to send everything he's got to Heikemon. Heikemon making a lot of knights. In fact, he's got 12 knights out at the moment. But he's still outnumbered by Aphrodite, and Aphrodite at the moment has 20 military on the map. Gary, though, under a little bit of pressure, and Nozoanodi and Heikemon non-stop raiding, it would seem, onto Nikov and onto Gary, but ZZ still have that score lead. And I think with the water control now gone for OCC, that they are going to have a pretty bad time. Obviously, the sling from Flushing can't continue if he has no resources. And if he loses his TC, it's going to be a real uphill battle to get back into this game. And like I said, a matter of time as well until this gold gets discovered. In fact, Aphrodite's, I think, probably already found it because he's sending camels over there now. Tower coming up, a 29-minute trush. Gotta love it. And that is going to be going up on Aphrodite's woodline, so that will cause a few problems over there, but not too much that they can't deal with it. Obviously now those galleys running back, a demolition ship out for Aphrodite though, not sure if a misclick or what, but hopefully we'll get to see that in action. I love demolition ships. Obviously 110 damage versus the 120 health of a galley. Will it detonate? Nope. Nope. Aphrodite was not on the ball with that, and he might just lose a few fishing ships back here, which would be kind of sad because he's spent so long protecting them and being safe, but now that Gary's finally winning the water, Aphrodite will lose his ships. Kind of sad. Here we go, another demolition ship out though. Surely this time, the demolition ship will do something. Or maybe, yes, it will. Bang, go, explode, dude, explode, now, detonate. No, okay, well, I guess that's not going to happen then. That's why demolition ships are useless. One unit war. Galleys. Oh my goodness me. Another demolition ship out. Now they're not going to work. They're just like, oh my god, come on. Oi, got a couple of kills. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Anyway, Look at Nikov's monks. Oh my goodness me. And that was me saying Nozo Anodi is a real Wololo warlord. Indeed, it is Nikov. He must have got about 5 or 6 conversions there. Looking at all of those monks, they all had a conversion. That was a fantastic play by him. Getting about 5 or 6 conversions, turning that battle around on its head. And Aphrodite now pushing out as well. Gary on the water, looking solid. And on the land now, he could either sling, but he's got the protection of Aphrodite as well, which is always good. Flushing trying to wall off on this left side. That tower certainly pushed Aphrodite away from the wood, I guess. That wall-off's going to keep that gold safe. But I'm surprised that Flushing hasn't been more of a target, to be honest with you. And still, Flushing going to get all of those ships. So all of that work, all of that time spent on getting those fishing ships out has been for nothing. And even though Flushing has lost the water, there are no ships left. That's just typical, isn't it? Gary here going to clean up this army. They've got nothing left to do up here anyway. So what is the use? They may as well just be killed off to make way for other population, I guess. But yeah, well played by ZZ so far. They are looking firmly in control of this game. And on the left side, we've got a big fight going on with Hey Come On, who is actually the score leader of the game at the moment. But he simply doesn't seem to have what it takes because there's too many camels out on the map now. And it seems like his knights just are getting cut down way too quickly. Of course, Nikov with all of his conversions, all of the Wololos doing a good amount of damage. But hey, it's kind of difficult when you've got knights and camels on you on every angle. Nikov here, oh, that's so sad to see. Losing tons of villagers as they try and build this town center. One bad placement, and it's just, oh, it's horrible. That was nasty, but hey, Nozo Anodi getting a bunch of kills right there. And OC still look decent on the land. We got a castle drop. An actual cattle drop on this right-hand side with Nozo Anodi taking down that GC from Nikov. Nikov just lost a ton of villagers as well, so his eco's not in a good way at the moment. But fortunately, they have got Gary, and Gary at the moment is completely safe. He's got water control. He could easily sling both of them. He could make some army as well, who knows. But hey, at the moment, Nikov's right in the middle of the map, and he's not looking in the best location. Imperial Age is on the way for Nozo Anodi. Nikov's on the way up as well. But Nikov, I feel, is not in the position to make the most of this Imperial Age upgrade. Sure, he's playing as the Chinese. He can go for more camels. He can make some cavalier. He could put up a castle and make some Chukonu. But he's only got 90 population. He's got 71 villagers right now. That's not a huge amount. I can only assume he's had a little bit of a sling, judging by the fact he still managed to make so many monks and make knights as well. So we were assuming that Gary has slung him. But I don't think Nikov's in the best position to take advantage of the Imperial Age upgrade. And bear in mind as well, Nozo Anodi is also up. He's already lost 1 TC, just lost a bunch of villagers. And Nozo Anodi's going to be pushing through with Trebs very soon as well. He's already got the castles, and that is something that Nikov at the moment is really missing out on and lacking. In the north of the map, Hey Come On's got a ton of knights. And, well, he's not that close to the Imperial Age yet. But with the economy back here looking pretty strong, looking pretty big, and with the sling coming in from Flushing still, it looks like he might get there very soon. I'm just surprised that Gary never took down this TC and didn't do more damage from the water. He could easily take that down, and that would stop Flushing's villager production, and it would also have to force him to build a new one if he wants to keep making villagers anyway. So on the water, Flushing, surprisingly, still has his galleys alive, and would you believe it, it looks like he might just go and kill some more fishing ships. This is fantastic. Like, how do you do that? How did he get those galleys out, and how did Gary not notice them? He's actually going to come straight in here, and he's going to pick off a bunch more fishing ships from Nikov. That's just unbelievable. At this point in the game, his galleys, at 36 minutes, still just killing ships off. It's mad. Aphrodite then, still castle, nearly up to him. Gary's still castle, of course. Flushing's still feudal, because he always is. And Imperial Age for Nozo Anodi and Nikov. Hey, come on, about to click up. He's just short on gold. But I think this Imperial Age upgrade for Nozo Anodi is going to be pretty huge. We've got 3 castles on this right side. How many castles has Nikov got? He's only just completing his first castle. He's going to be at a disadvantage going up to the Imperial Age. And if Nozo Anodi makes a lot of if he makes a bunch of, let me just quickly click over here, Chuko Nu, which he is doing, then Nikov's going to have a bad time with his camels, and his cavalier, his knights, aren't going to stand up to much either. So this is really good play from OCC on this right side. The Trebs coming straight out, 3 Trebs coming out now, and Nozowanodi doesn't know about that castle yet, but he will find out about it fairly soon, and another castle on this front side as well coming up. Just castles, castles everywhere. Hey, come on now, coming in, fully upgraded knights for the Castle Age, and the Imperial Age upgrades on the way. And that would make Nikov on the way up to Imp, Nozowanodi already Imp, and Aphrodite on the way up as well. Those guys are pretty close together, actually. But Heikemon has about a 15 military lead on the water. Wow, the hangs and the pauses and all that stuff, it's getting worse, I swear. Like, every few seconds, it's just like, pause. And it's really laggy. I don't even know why this is happening, but it's only a recent problem. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll restart the game after this one. So anyway, this trebuchet humiliation here for Nozowanodi, losing his treb by the looks of it to these knights. But hey, Nozowanodi sitting on that hill, Chuko Nu massed up, and Nikov gonna sit underneath those castles. Oh my goodness, the trebuchet survives. Who would have thought it? I would have not thought that would have happened, but hey, there you go. Chuko Nu for Nozowanodi massing up, and is that another castle? Are you kidding me? Another one. He's just gone castle, castle, castle. Yes, another castle, and another one as well. Non-stop castle production. Kind of crazy. Nikov dadgumming it up because he is 2v1 right now. Aphrodite massing up the camels on this top side. Obviously, Heikemon leaving a few units behind, but I think this is going to force a reaction from Aphrodite here. There's simply too much for him to deal with. His single castle here about to come under fire from these 4 Trebs, and meanwhile his eco being raided by these knights from Heikemon. Nikov's got some knights in there as well, but they're nowhere near upgraded, as upgraded as Heikemon's are. And Heikemon just going to sit in there with his knights and take that arrow fire like a boss. Of course, Aphrodite's going to respond by sending his own units over there. And Aphrodite now must be doing that heavy camel upgrade because these guys are really on the defensive and he has a lot of camels on the field, but he's not. He's actually doing cavalier, which is really surprising to me. Honestly, I would have expected to see, with that many camels, I would have expected to see heavy camel first, and that many knights as well. But then again, Nozowanodi is making Chuko Nu, and in the long run, camels are not going to be the best option to counter that. It's probably best for him to go paladins anyway, because they will be used against the paladins of Heikemon and against the Chuko Nu of Nozowanodi. So that castle's going down, and there's another castle from Nozowanodi. He's just leapfrogging across the map, castle after castle after castle, and you know what? OCC are looking amazingly good at this point in time. Nozowanodi just seems to be everywhere, killing everything and causing so much trouble. Meanwhile, though, Flushing is out, it seems. His eco being raided by a few cavalier now. And considering he stayed feudal, I think that that is a big mistake, a grave mistake. Because he's not going to get much resource income at all. There's no way he can defend against Aphrodite. And on this right side, just to the right of him, we've got Gary, who's like fully up in the Castle Age, 4 TC boom. He's looking really comfortable, really safe there. Wow. Wow. That gate just being opened for Nozowanodi there by Aphrodite's Cavalier. But yeah, like I said, Gary's able to sling a lot more resources at the moment, like a huge amount more resources. But then again, in the north of the map, Aphrodite does not seem to be holding on too well. Cavalier upgrade done for Heikemon, getting in there doing some eco damage. And on the land, more Cavalier in the center. Nikov's main base is being trebbed down. That Chuko Nu, well, those Chuko Nu are not upgraded yet, but I can't imagine that upgrade is too far away. And look, another castle from Nozowanodi. He's just building a line of castles into the middle of the map. You've got to love it. He can always just build more and more and more, and then if he loses them, he just falls back to the next one. But look at that, the Chuko Nu getting right in there, and that is gonna be, oh my goodness, that's gonna be horrible for Nikov. The death of all of his villagers. Maybe not all, but a lot. Nikov down to 89 population. And although he might be in the Imperial Age, like I said earlier, he's probably not the best person to make use of that Imperial Age upgrade. Those Chukonu bringing down those villagers so quickly. Nikov, just help! Help me! I'm in so much trouble. Nozonedi, so many trebs here and absolutely nothing on the map for Nikov. Just 2 military units. Meanwhile, Aphrodita being raided by Heikemon. And Heikemon really doing a great job of keeping himself in this game. Keeping himself relevant and doing as much raiding as he can. It looks like OCC may just get this game, you know. It's looking really good. And look, it's another castle from Nozuonodi. It's just, oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 8th castle is going up. It's just non-stop. How many is he going to make? How much has he got left? He can still afford a 9th castle as well. Oh my goodness. That is insane. He must be taking all the stone. And he's not. There's still more to take. 10 castle hype in before. Anyway, yeah, over on this right side, Heikemon's Cavalier just seem to be wrecking everything. Nikov's down to 67 pop. And after that last game, he really probably isn't in the mood to rebuild again. Aphrodita and Gary, though, are both looking pretty good with a large amount of population between them. Gary, at the moment, though, playing as the Vikings, like I said, he's not going to hold much weight in this game. And he's got 25 military, but that is solely on the water. There's absolutely nothing on the land at all, and he is continuing, I meant to say, on the sling, which is going straight to Aphrodita and Nikov at the moment. But honestly, with Nikov down to 66 pop, 0 military, it's going to be tough. Aphrodita's down to 30 military, and Heikemon's at 46, Nozuonodi at 40. And although that Paladin upgrade just got completed for Aphrodita, he is lacking the +2 attack upgrade, and the Paladin upgrade instantly following from Heikemon. So Heikemon got a huge army advantage now. That Paladin upgrade at the south causing a lot of trouble, taking down those TCs, and I imagine Aphrodita, Juan, and Nikov are just shouting at Gary at the moment. It's obviously all Gary's fault, because whenever I see a stream like of the Viper or something, and Gary's playing, Gary just always gets the blame. I feel sorry for the guy. He's done nothing wrong, really. But yeah, just really great play from OCC here, and I think they can sense the victory. The 9th castle from Nozuonodi, it's right there. In before number 10. I mean, this has got to be, he's got to have 10. 1, 2, 3, I clicked off the window. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I keep clicking out the window, for God's sake. But that's 9. He can afford number 10. He's at 666 gold. The 10th castle. Surely the 10th castle going to come up. Oh my goodness, I apologize. I accidentally just banned someone in the chat. Because I clicked out of the window and I accidentally clicked in the chat and banned someone. Extra Mimito, I apologize. Let me unban you right now. I think I spent your name right. If you're not unbanned, I'll do it after the game. I apologize. But anyway, where's that 10th castle? I want to see that 10th castle. There it is. It's going up in the top of the map. And honestly, with Nozuonodi having that many castles out, and he's not even done the Elite Chuko new upgrade. That's for scrubs. He just wants the castles at this time. Honestly, just this game for OCC is looking so nice right now. Even Flushing is still in it. Somehow he still has that TC. Like, how? How did he keep that up? And I think the sling is probably stopped now as well. You know what I think Flushing should do? He should delete his own TC and build one back here in the prosperous lands of Nozuonodi. And he's still taking stone. He's still taking more and more stone. I cannot believe that. Honestly, that's kind of funny. I want to see the 11th castle. He's got to go for more. He's got another 700 stone. He's literally just castle dropping the entire map. I mean, when ZZ see the number of castles he has, they've got to laugh. The castles from Aphrodita getting cut down very quickly. Nikov trying to rebuild in Aphrodita's base, but of course, that's not going to work out too well. And I think he built another castle somewhere as well. I see his stones just disappeared, but I don't see another castle going up. I'm not sure where he just spent it, but I don't know. Maybe he sold it at the market or something. In fact, Aphrodite actually, with a few knights at the back of the map, doing some raiding here. That's going to disrupt his gold. But honestly, at this point in time, I don't think it's enough. These castles are going down really quickly. And ZeroEmpires here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 castles. It's just madness. And honestly, ZZ are going to have a tough time getting back into it, with Hakamon having 63 paladins on the map, with ZeroEmpires having 58 Chukonu, and Aphrodite having a mere 26 paladins. He can't run into this, and they can't assault the Trebs either, because the Chukonu here will just cut down the paladins whenever they get close. So yeah, this eco from Aphrodite is going down, and these guys, I don't think they want to resign, because they just feel like they should win this game. This game should be won by them, but unfortunately, it just is not going that way at the moment. There's the 11th castle from ZeroEmpires, right on that hill there. Will it get denied? I don't think so. He's just got to move those Chukonu into position. The 11th castle going up, and at the 11th castle, in the 11th hour, the 11th day, GG from Aphrodite, Gary, and Nikov. ZZ actually losing a game. OCC getting a point on the board, and the fourth game, actually going to OCC there. Very well played by those guys, and they're actually going to get a game, and that's obviously going to feel pretty happy about that. I've got to say, I was rooting for OCC during that game, because OCC have been a really fun team to watch. They've definitely brought some interesting strategies and some fun things to the table, and seeing them win that game is pretty satisfying. They've been so entertaining, and that is all I can ask for, to be honest with you. So 3-1 to ZZ now, as OCC get that point, and that's just awesome for those guys. Of course, the 5th point will be played in deathmatch as a best of 3, and the first to 2 wins in deathmatch will get the 5th and